In this tutorial, I'll be showing you how to use the clipping mask. So previously what I have done is I've used the pen tool to create my different shapes. So you can see here, I've created my orange and I've trialed different clipping masks here. I've also got my original oranges over here so that I can use them again and again. On the right here, these are some examples as well of how to use the pen tool to add detail and to make sure you've got enough tones and textures. So here you can see I've just used a lot of the pen tool to make sure I've got those different feathered effects. And if I zoom in, I can press Control and then press the plus, and it will allow me to zoom in. So if we look a bit closely, you can see I've just used about 5 colours, but I've arranged them as well, making sure that there's light areas and darker areas as well. Just making sure that we can add more detail to our work. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to Control minus so that I can zoom out. And I'm going to show you how to use the clipping mask tool. So we should have already got our textures. In Photoshop, we should have used saturation, or we should have used brightness and contrast, using those adjustment tools to increase our textures so that they can be highlighted a bit more. What we're going to do now is we also need to have our stencils or our pen tool sketches already on the page, ready to go. All right, now that we have these ready to go, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to place my textures on the page. So we need to go to File, Place, and then we need to go to our folder with textures, and you can choose any textures here. So I'm going to choose this one first, and I'm going to press Place. Then I can see it's a little image at the moment, but when I click, it becomes this image here. We do not want to increase the size because Illustrator already automatically makes this the largest size possible. If we press Shift and then we drag it, it does become a little bit pixelated, and we do not want that. So I'm going to press Control Z, and that goes back to the original size. So this is the largest you can possibly have it. That's why we save it as a TIFF as well, because the TIFF helps out with creating the largest size possible. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to move this here. I'm going to use this orange. So this is all grouped together, but I want to do segment by segment. So I'm going to right click and press ungroup. I'm going to start off with this shape down the bottom. What we need to do is we need to put it in front of the texture. At the moment, we can see that as I move it, it's actually going behind the texture. So what we do is we right click, arrange, bring to front. That way, when I move it now, it will be in front of the texture. So to create the clipping, we need to select the texture and the pen tool shape. So I'm going to drag from here, get my little ants marching, and make sure I select both. All right, so now that there is a blue outline on both the object and the texture, I'm going to go up here to the word object. Then I'm going to go down to clipping mask and make. And there we go. So you can see now that the texture has been clipped inside this shape. So now I can move it over here, and I can go on with my next clipping mask. So I might want to do this one here. So I'm going to move that over here. So I'll show you again. I might actually like that design by itself as well. So we can see that the bottom of the orange actually creates that circular shape. And then I've left just the segments of orange using the stroke pen tool here as well. So you can see that the stroke, if I click on it, up the top here, the stroke is 1 at the moment. I can make it thicker or thinner if I'd like. What I could also do is, if I'm happy with this design here, I'm just going to move this texture over here. I'm going to group these together, and I'll zoom in. So what I can do is I can change the stroke color. So I might want it to be a nice light blue, so it sits with the dark blue as well. So then this could be my possible. So making sure we make as many possible outcomes and then choosing the strongest design. So I'm pretty happy with that at the moment. I might want to change the blue. I think it's a bit too dark. And I think the stroke is a bit too close together. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to decrease the stroke to 1.5. And then I'm going to make the stroke itself a darker blue. All right. Let's see how that works. Okay, so this is a lot thinner. I might actually let's go back and increase the stroke to see what it would look like. So I might do 2. Okay. I'm not happy with that, so I might do 1. So I'm just playing around, seeing what works best. Okay, I'm happy with that. That's pretty good. So I might leave that by itself, and that's a possible outcome that I could do. So then I'm going to Control C, Control V. And then I'm going to do Control G to group. So that's another possibility. There we go, I'm happy with that. This one here, I might actually change and put more clipping masks in. So I might actually do this, and I'm going to I'm going to place another clipping mask. So I'm going to File, Place, and I'm going to do another texture. So I might do this one. Then I place it here. That's nice and large. Right click on this one, Arrange, Bring to Front. Then I'm going to put it right there. Selecting both. Object, Clipping Mask, Make. Right, so I'm happy with that. Now that it's brought to front, we need to place it over here. And I need to arrange and send to back. So that's another possibility of my orange segment that I've done. Okay, so I'm happy with that. And I right click, go and select all of it, and then I'm going to group. So these are 4 possible outcomes for my oranges, and I might use them all together on my card design. Okay, I'm going to move over to here to show you as well. This is an example of what I've done and changing the opacity and colors. So what I've experimented with is simple shapes. So over here, there's a rectangle tool. I'm going to right click on that. And this is where we can create our ellipse from beforehand. And I can just create different, that's right. All right, so now I'm going to choose the colors as well. So at the moment, it has no fill. So over here, there's no fill and there's no stroke. So I'm going to change that. I'm going to keep going on with my blues. So that's a dark blue, and then I'm going to have the fill as a light blue. All right, so this is a great technique for layering as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this shape, and up the top here, I'm going to go to opacity. And I'm going to reduce the opacity so that it can actually become see-through in the layers. So I'm going to create 50%, and now it becomes lighter. So if I do another ellipse tool on top of it, like this, then we see this is 100% opacity. If I do 50% opacity as well, now we can see that there is an overlay of the colors as well. So using the opacity and changing it actually helps you with different layers. You can use that if you want to create glass effects or city windows. So thinking about how you might want to add detail to your work. I might use the pen tool as well to create different curves. And to play around with my design. All right. So I'm pretty happy with that at the moment. And then I might actually change the color. Might choose a more of a pink. There you go, more of a mauve colour. So I'm happy with that. Might place it there, but then I might change the opacity again. So I might change that to 70. And now we can see I've used a lot of different colours, and you can see that they can become see-through when changing the opacity. I might want to use the pen tool the rectangle tool and create line segments. So, well, let's try that again. The line tool, and I might want to come nice and sharp. I might change this to white. Okay. The stroke needs to be changed to white, sorry. There we go. And then I might increase the stroke, let's say to 4. So that's an example of how you can play with opacity and with the stroke as well. All right, I'm going to zoom out and just show you. These are some of the designs you can play around with for your pen tool sketches, eventually for your final card designs. Thank you.